Welcome back to the watch list. I'm Nicole Petalides. Shares of Nvidia moving higher ahead of the highly anticipated earnings report due out tomorrow afternoon. Options traders are making their bets on the swing either way. But I'll tell you, most of the people I speak with are expecting something good out of Nvidia tomorrow. Is that a problem? Logan Gilland's with us, analyst at Jewel Financial, and Will Rhind, founder CEO at Granite Shares. Logan, I'll start with you because almost every person I speak with, while they seem a little cautious, they think something's coming out of Nvidia that they're going to like. Is that too much optimism?
I actually think it is to some degree. I like how you said that it is highly anticipated with that emphasis. Oh my goodness, it seems like every investor out there is holding their breath for this one and is looking towards this number. It's really interesting to see where the consensus numbers and even the whisper numbers have been over the last couple weeks, just anticipating what is happening in this earnings report. And I think basically perfection is baked in. The look is that they're going to blow numbers out of the water. Consensus numbers, if you look back 2 weeks ago, were about 59 cents for earnings. Now they're at 65, with the whisper numbers being closer to 71 cents per share. So there is a lot baked in. There's a lot of anticipation. I think it's overdone. I think that we're going to see some sell the news after this comes out on Wednesday afternoon and into Thursday. The interesting thing for us will be to see how it affects the rest of the market. But again, I think there's basically perfection baked in. There's so much enthusiasm about going into this report, but there's a lot of nerves as well. And I think we'll see sell the news because of that.
Look, I mean, the Blackwell chip was also highly anticipated and delayed. The Hopper chip certainly had a lot of fanfare. Will, what say you? What kind of expectations do you have for tomorrow?
Look, this is the most important earnings call of this Q2 season, maybe even the most important earnings call of the year so far, even eclipsing the most recent comments by the Fed chairman about the potential rate cut in September. So this is absolutely huge tomorrow. And I think, again, this is going to be good news from NVIDIA. And probably, like for your last segment, as your guest was mentioning, that this is really about leadership in terms of driving the entire market higher. And I think the market's looking for a catalyst to go higher. And I think that could be the NVIDIA earnings call tomorrow.
Listen, Will, do you think tech's in favor or out of favor right now? You know, because we also watch just the news cycle or how popular tech is at any given time, Will.
Look, it's definitely in favor. It's not a broad brush that paints all tech companies equally, but the tech trade is still very much kind of where it's at. I mean, I just look at the resilience, since August 5th, Nvidia even. I mean, Nvidia just on supposedly the news that the Blackwell chip was a little bit delayed. From peak to trough, sold off about 30%. But has been bought aggressively back along with other top tech names. So it just shows me that along with the Fed's sort of positive comments here at the market, that people are not ready to get out of the AI trade yet by any means.
And really, should they be getting out of an AI trade, Logan?
I mean, if you're in it, it's difficult. I think you avoid buying in at this level. We're kind of on the opposite camp. I don't fully agree. I think that tech is falling, maybe a little bit out of favor. Obviously, they've rebounded significantly after we had that Monday that was so difficult with the yen carry trade unwinding and some different things. But I do think that there is a shift going. It's subtle right now. It's very subtle. There's some rotation, though, that is happening towards the dividend-paying companies, towards the small caps that are getting some more love. Even we saw the NASDAQ yesterday down significantly where the rest of the market was basically flat. The RSP, the equal weighted S&P 500, is right near all-time highs, and the S&P 500 has not gone up and recaptured that because of tech. The tech, I think, is slowing down. It's losing its steam a little bit, and I think it's because of the expectations have been so high. I think even though we might get really good news, and they may actually beat on top and bottom, because of the anticipation, because of the whisper numbers being so significant, I think we could still see selling from NVIDIA tomorrow.
Right. And if they're selling, you said, you feel like tech has been a little out of favor and there's been a rotation. Logan, when we think about NVIDIA competitors, I mean, people have been talking about AMD a lot, Logan.
Yeah, I mean, we're not jumping on to any of those trains right now, but I think the competitors is part of the reason why we could see some difficulties tomorrow. I mean, they have to continue to grow those earnings at such a rate. Now, I know a lot of that is baked in, but these competitors are all getting into the market. At the same time, I feel like companies out there that are starting to use AI, feel like that initial enthusiasm has kind of waned a little bit. Now people are not just trying to catch up and get into AI, and every single component of any business ever has to have an AI component. But now it's shifting more towards, how is this actually going to make us money? And I think it will. I think AI is still going to be a huge influential factor. But I think in the short term, we may see some weakness because of that anticipation and because people are kind of saying, okay, how is this really going to make our company money in the short term?
Yeah, and look, I mean, Will, you're using the indication from the other big names for demand for Nvidia GPUs, that they remain strong. You mentioned some of the names, Microsoft, Google, et cetera. Tell me that.
Yeah, I mean, look, Microsoft obviously being NVIDIA's biggest customer, we've already kind of seen the breadcrumbs being laid, and hence why, some of these numbers, the market is not going to be too surprised, I don't think, when we see good news from NVIDIA tomorrow, because their top customers are already telling us that not only is their CapEx on AI infrastructure remaining steady for this year, but it's also going to increase for next year. And so clearly NVIDIA is the biggest beneficiary of that. And that tells us that this $1 trillion worth of CapEx that's going into AI infrastructure, AI spending, NVIDIA is the capturing the lion's share of that, and that's still going to continue.
Yeah. All right, we're looking forward to it. Thanks for the setup, gentlemen. We appreciate it. Logan Gilland of Schwab Financial, Will Rhind at Granite Shares. Thank you both so much for this look at NVIDIA.